Welcome to Desmos Calculator Bootcamp. This is lesson 1. We're going to look at functions, function notation, and so many cool features in this calculator that will help you work with functions in your classes, on your assignments. Let's start by typing in a function. I'm just going to create a random quadratic function. Okay, so here's my function, f of x. You'll notice immediately that some of these points over here are in gray. They kind of pop out, and that would be any important points you may decide to work with. You can click and drag on the graph and pull it around. You can also use the zoom out and the zoom in. If you're using a mouse, you can use a mouse wheel to do the same. And up here is the y-intercept. So the x-intercepts, the y-intercepts, if you have any critical points like a vertex, a maximum or a minimum, those points will show up and you'll be able to see those. What's cool is they've just added this feature where you can click here to export that point to your list over here. So when you click, there it is. And you can label the point if you would like. Now when you click and hold the label, there's some options here. You can change the font size of your label to make it bigger. Sometimes I'll do that if I'm trying to put this online and I want a nice picture of my work. You can click and hold and also change where the label is. So notice my label's kind of to the right of my point, but I'd really like it to be to the left of my point. So I go ahead and move that over there. You can change the angle. This is your angle here. You can change the thickness of your point. You can change the type of point. So I can make it a hole or an X. But the default, of course, is the point. And let's change this 8 to like a 16. You see I made a bigger point. I can do the same with my function. I can make it bigger as well. Right now it's at 2.5, so let's make that at 5, a little bit thicker. And so that's just some of the things you can do to the graphs of functions. The wrench over here lets you do your other settings like add labels. So I'll do X and Y. I can change my scale or the step to count by something that's reasonable. If you leave that blank, Desmos will do it for you to make it look as nice as it can. But if you have something specific, like I'd really like it to count by ones, that's too much. I'm just going to take that back out. You can turn off your minor grid lines. You can add arrows. So these are all very basic features of the Desmos calculator. You might want to get rid of the numbers on your axis. I don't know why, but you might. You could even turn off the grid if you don't like the grid. A really cool feature I use quite a bit is this one up here at the top. It defaults to this smaller font size, but if you do the larger one, see, it'll make everything bold and easy to see. So that's up to you. I'm going to turn it back off because I've already bolded this stuff. Now, one other cool thing about this calculator is I can evaluate my function at a number. So let's see, what is f of 5? And you'll see that that's 6. Another way to find f of 5 is to click and drag along the graph until it says, till your x-coordinate is 5. And there it is, 5, 6. And it'll show up, but it's a little hard to get it to land on that. So another way to do it is to type 5, comma, f of 5, and then click on label, and it will actually put the point 5, 6 there for you. So you'll be able to see that point. And again, if you want to make the font bigger, or if you want to move it around to the other side, maybe inside the parabola, you can do that. Now let's say I want to get a lot of points on this graph. I could create a table, and I could put some x coordinates in my table. So I think I'm going to use some really bigger numbers here. So let's go -15, -10, -5, 0, 5, 10, and 15. Now where it says y1, I'm going to change that. And I'm going to make this say f, that's the name of my function, open parentheses, x, and then put a 1. Now the reason you need a 1 is so you're telling your calculator to look at these numbers under x1 in your column, and what it's doing is it's plugging each of those numbers into the function and giving you these outputs. Now I can't really see much of that because these numbers are huge and my graph only goes to like 15, 16. So down here in the bottom left there's a zoom fit. So if you'll press the plus sign, boom. Now I've got a graph that's showing all of these points. Now I'm going to go turn this one off because I don't really want that there. And I'm going to turn off this label. I'm going to turn this one off and turn off this label. And now I have this wonderful looking graph. Now those points are tiny. So just like before, I can press and hold here. I can make my points bigger by changing this 8 to like, I don't know, 16. See how much bigger that is? If I want to make holes or if I want to put X's, I can do that, but I think the dot looks best, so I'm going to leave that. I can even change the color. Maybe I don't want blue. Maybe I'd rather have purple. So I could change it to purple or even green. Okay, so these are my points on my graph. Now there's other things you can do, but I'm going to save this for another video down the road, and that is function transformations, composition of functions, and things like that. Go ahead and open your Desmos calculator, type desmos.com, and log in and create your own function. You can use f of x. You can change it to some other function. So let's do a linear function. I'll call it g of x. And there's my function. Now let's add it to this table. I can go to the next column and do g of x1. And there's those points. I think I don't want green again, so let's make this one orange. And there's those points. So that's how you work with functions. Hopefully you've learned something today. Y'all stay tuned because I've got several of these videos coming that are going to introduce you to some of the cool features that are in the Desmos Graphing Calculator. Y'all have a great day.